지금 다운로드 받으세요.
Welcome, everybody, to the SSL Group C of the Challenger matches here. It's me, Valdez, with a special guest, Artie McArtosis. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing really well. I'm so happy to be here instead of in my underwear at home watching this, which is what I've been doing the past couple weeks. It's an all-day affair, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I would love to go in and cast it. Unfortunately, it's an open studio. I have to wear pants here, but
unfortunately,
it won't be that different. Instead of typing to the plebs in the chat, I'll be talking with you, and that's more fun, I think.
This is better. I mean, you get to watch, but also talk about it at the same time, which is your job, is something you enjoy. So. Of course, as you mentioned, this is going to be a massive marathon. It's probably going to take at least 9 hours, I'd say. We got 30 best of ones in a row. So.
Look, I'm hoping that today we can break that 30-game cap that we have on there. That's arbitrary. If we get a big enough tie, we could go way beyond 30 games, and that's what I'm rooting for.
Go to the 45, 50-game mark.
I want to have to find a hotel down here tonight. Okay, that's how late I want it to go. I want nonstop StarCraft forever.
It's possible.
I want us to die of insanity, and there's just like a couple of skeletons sitting here with microphones in their hands.
And everybody gets to watch it at the same time. That's the best thing. It would go down in history as the moment that you and I died on camera.
Yeah, it would go right with all those stories that, I'm sure your mother has emailed you. Someone died in a PC bong playing that StarCraft game you like so much.
He was addicted to casting, and he just couldn't stop. There were too many games to cast.
Casting, that's so funny. But yeah, man, this is going to be really an awesome day. There's like a lot of good players in this group. I guess there's not as many like superstars, I guess the biggest star in this group might be Deer.
Yeah, and he was a GSL champion once upon a time, but then he fell down, and then he's like slowly gotten better, which is why I guess you call him a star, because I put him at, the best player in this group.
Deer?
Yeah.
And don't forget, though, Jakji is a GSL champion as well. So one of the forgotten ones, of course. But yeah, you guys can see a Challenge Group C that is today. Just 1 Protoss, 2 Zergs, 3 Terrans. One thing that I'm very excited about, because I watched Group A and Group B completely, and it seemed like Dust Towers was the only map.
Yeah.
That's not the case today. There is a lot of different maps being played. Like Dust Towers is only played 1, 2, 3.
You got to count them and
3 times in the first half. Only 3 times. And then 1, 2, 3 times in the next half.
Whoa.
Only 6 times out of 30 is Dust Towers being played. So
this is like a totally different tournament now.
Yeah.
Because I think in Group B, I swear we had to play it at least 12, 13 times.
Oh, at least.
It was gross, man.
At least.
I was so tired of that map by the end of the day. I wish there were bans so we could ban it out. But anyway, we'll have it a lot less today.
Yeah. That's going to be nice. Okay, I need to know, Valdez, what are your predictions? Which 3 players are getting out?
It's kind of hard, We were talking about it a little bit before the broadcast. I'd say there are 4 players to choose from, of which 3 will get out, I'd say it's aLive, Rogue, Jakji, and Deer. Or maybe Impact at the same time.
Okay.
I don't know. It's pretty hard. I think Deer 100% gets out. And I was thinking Rogue, but, you never know when he's going to have a good day or a bad day.
So if I put a gun to your head right now and you had to choose 3 players that you are saying are getting out, if they get out, you live, and if they don't, you die. What is it?
Okay. I'd probably say Deer, Rogue, and aLive. That would be my 3 picks.
That's good picks.
Yeah. Those are my gun to my head picks right there.
Yeah, the gun to your head picks. I agree with 2 of them. I think aLive and Deer, but Impact. I'm telling you, you watch this kid.
Big dark horse.
Wow, this is starting quickly. Okay.
Yeah, we're going right into game number 1, guys. Here we go. Runes of Endion, aLive versus Impact. We don't waste any time down here.
No, I guess not.
We have
I'm
a lot of
used to
games.
bantering for a good 10, 15 minutes before we start.
No, none of that. Not here at the challenge matches. Down here in the bottom left, it's aLive, the red Terran. 1 of 3. Yeah. And down here in the bottom right in the blue, the Zerg player, it is Impact.
Indeed, and as I was saying, I think that this guy's getting out of the group 100%. Impact impressed me far too much in his Code A match against Curious. He just like slammed him and showed basically some of the best ZVZ that I've ever seen. Also, he's been top 10 on the Korean ladder for a very long time now on that GM ladder. So Impact, I'm really feeling it, man. I think this guy is going to actually have a possibility to go very deep both in GSL and SSL this season, and I think that he's someone that might start popping up in Pro League a little bit as well.
If he starts to do better and better in these individual leagues, he has to see some play, right, in Pro League?
You would
Even though he's on SK Telecom, they got to give him some shots. And they have from time to time. He hasn't really made his mark over at Pro League, I'd say.
Yeah.
But if he starts doing really well here in the Season 2s of the individual leagues, we definitely see him a bit more often for sure.
Yeah, it's something that I hope for and I'm kind of looking forward to. Like I mentioned it before, like this guy is actually, if you want to watch, probably the best documentary on StarCraft 2. Maybe after Liquid Rising and Sons of StarCraft, of course. But the best one after those, what was it called? State of Play, I believe it was about Jaedong.
Yeah.
Really well made, pretty damn accurate. And Impact is actually like the B character in that, like the kind of runner-up character. So this guy actually has kind of like not a super storied career so far, but he's really coming into his own on SKT. And I'm really pumped for this match because aLive just took out Dark in Pro League. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to this guy. He disappeared in round 2 of Pro League. He was so big in round 1.
Yeah.
He was helping out the Freaks so much, and then he disappeared, and now he's back. I mean, it wasn't just a fluke in his game against Dark either. He played a fantastic TVZ. He really kind of outplayed Dark as well. So, Dark also didn't have the best day that day. He also lost to Patience in the Ace match. So
yeah, that was a tough day for Dark for sure. Maybe the live game threw him off a little bit, but this is like I am so kind of getting on the Impact hype train, just like with Speed. Like I was so excited about Speed. I think he performed beautifully in GSL. Didn't make it past the round of 16, but that was great. Impact, I'm kind of looking towards the same thing, and especially because I think Zerg right now needs this too. Right? Like, who do we have for Zerg that you're like, oh,
Dark.
This guy's going to be a murderer? And it's just Dark, right?
Just Dark. Especially because Sue also is beginning to slowly fall off these days. I mean, he did not make it out of his challenge group. He was in Group A of the SSL.
And some of those games were like, oh yeah, what are you doing?
Some of them he just it was like an underhanded softball throw to his opponent that just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And he kind of just threw games away. Like even the game against Bomber where he all-inned. With the Queens and the Lings, I was very unimpressed. So, Sue, kind of inconsistent. Dark, as we were talking about, he's pretty much the only player that's consistently good for Zerg.
Yeah. So we need someone else to really pop up right now, and I would love for that to be Impact. You see, so far, he's actually doing like a very peculiar build. Of course, this is Ruins of Endion, so you'd expect things to be a little bit weird, but the Overlord drop, okay, that's not the weird part. The Ravagers, that's where you get a little bit more weird, right?
He's going
to drop Ravagers?
No, I think he's going to drop the Lings and attack the front with the Ravagers.
Yeah, because if he dropped Ravagers, I'm like, well, I just don't know anymore.
Oh, well.
Well, maybe over the wall, but...
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I like this. So, I mean, now he has to pick him up.
I suppose he can micro a bit, but... Oh, that was actually really close to the Widowmine. Gets out of there. But at the same time, drop coming into the main. Looks like there will be some units to easily push that away. So the harass here out of Impact, it's cute, but it's not really finding that much damage.
No, by not that much, like almost zero. He's killed a Widowmine, he's killed a few Marines, and that all has some value, but compared to going 2 base, 3 Ravagers with drops,
he's going to drop this out, and there you go. The Overlord's going to go down.
Ooh.
And he can actually trade a little bit here. He may lose this 1 Ravager, and the medevac is going to save that last Marine, but that's the problem with that kind of drop. A medevac you can send back, you can repair. The Overlord is going to regen, but it's going to take a while.
This is truly kind of like a bizarre thing that we're watching. I just have not seen this. I guess we don't get to see this map all that much anyways, but I would definitely rate that as unsuccessful overall for Impact. That doesn't mean that he's out. It wasn't like that expensive. But his 3rd base is rather late here.
3rd base is pretty late. He's kind of behind on drones. He was sitting at 40 for a while. and he's committed to a lot of drop overlords. This is going to be his third one, so it's not that cheap to continuously do this and not find damage at the same time. So definitely not worth it so far, I'd have to say.
Well, right now we have Liberator coming in for a little bit of harassment. Something that I kind of noticed watching this as well. I like that you guys have the APM tabs on a lot of the time. Impact consistently is hitting like 400 APM. Like, a lot of the time he's right up there. Very, very fast young player.
Yeah, we got a little tank drop coming over here towards that third base. Gonna start hitting that hatchery. A nice job by Impact to try to save his drones for a while, but this is gonna delay a bunch of mining.
Whoa, he like that.
Whoa.
That was like a show-off move right there. He waited till that projectile was in there. He didn't even get an extra shot.
He had that SCV there from like minute 2 of this game, and it is now going to go down. Kind of a cute move. I'm not sure if he forgot about that and he was going to try to use that for scouting or what happened, but helped out a little bit to take out the Ravager at least, I suppose.
aLive, you know, kind of on top of things so far this game. I'm liking his play. It seems really, really solid. Yeah, sure, he's still on just 2 bases, but the third base is late enough for Impact that I'm not really worried about that yet. And definitely these drops are going to be hard to stop with just Roach Ravager tech.
Yeah, coming in here now, the Marine's going to drop out, and that tank not having too much support here as the Marine's kind of dropping out a bit slow. Impact right on top of that drop, and he does clear it off.
Right now we do have aLive going up for his third base, and Overlord kind of harassing that a little bit. aLive going to start clearing out some of these rocks as well. The rocks just have not been moved for him, whereas over on Impact sides, he hasn't even knocked them down yet. So, you know, especially I guess since he hasn't done anything greedy as far as economy or tech, didn't really need to knock those down. Much rather be a little bit more mobile.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see aLive is continuing with this harass, but Impact is shutting it down at every turn. It really hasn't found much damage at all. And he's taking a 4th base at the same time. That's the thing about this map that is a little bit different from Arena. I feel like it's a bit easier to take those 4th bases.
Yeah.
They're farther away than Arena. And we are going to see a couple of tanks come over here and try to harass these bases, but should be able to be shut down, especially with the drop overlord actually sitting in position, ready to deal with that kind of harass already. You can tell he's done his research for this map for sure.
Yeah, it's but here's the thing: like he's not clearing it out all that quickly. And oh god, you know those rocks aren't down, so the siege tanks can harass. It's hard for him to get up here to defend this 4th. The 4th is going to have to be canceled or killed.
Well, looks like it was killed there. No cancel, as you were saying, and this harass is really annoying to deal with. As you can see, even though Impact has prepared for this, he's still having trouble dealing with it. I'd almost say that it might be better to take down the rocks at the other 4th base and try to go for that.
Well, right now we do have Impact going across the map with his army. Kind of interesting because, yeah, he has an advantage as far as the army supply goes. I think the big problem, though, because compositionally Impact has a good army. Here he goes. He's coming up right now, but aLive has a lot of units on the other side of the map. The SCVs are being pulled. A lot of corrosive vials going down.
The SCVs being pulled here. A lot of them are going to go down, but it is going to be enough to save his life. And, in fact, not that many even going down, only 7. And now Impact stuck in an awkward spot with more tanks out on the map ready to harass here. aLive can easily get back away with. So aLive stays alive, and Impact's attack doesn't do much.
No, it's fine for him to lose 7 SCVs right now to something like that. As long as he's staying alive and the supplies are continuing to go up, the Roach Ravager-based army is going to have a harder and harder time. You know, this is much stronger at the lower supplies. So if aLive holds on a bit longer, and the fact that he denied that 4th base, it's looking very good for him.
Yeah, and we always talk about how these Roach Ravager compositions, it looks good because you have a lot of supply, but it doesn't really work out as well. And here we go, trying to drop some units actually onto the tanks in the back, and that he does. But is it going to be enough to push through?
Pushing, getting rid of those tanks, and now he's actually going after this 3rd base. So the push is starting to work out pretty well, even morphing some more Ravagers right there. Kind of a brave move, but a lot of corrosive vials come down. Wow, he eats some of them onto his bio-based army here. Those morphs don't end up working out, and he does back out. That's 9 more SCVs going down, but still, with 47, that's a pretty healthy economy still for aLive considering.
Yeah, I think aLive is totally fine here. Once he gets more tanks over there to deal with this army composition, I'm actually surprised he doesn't have more. He only has 1 on the map, and it looks like he's only got 1 factory producing. So kind of a problem when you're going up against this composition. You'd like some more tanks. The bio's pretty good against it as well. And once this 2-2 finishes, for the bio especially, he's going to be able to rip this army apart.
That is a little bit scary, isn't it? But we do have fungal growth on the way, right? Pathogen Glands is almost done researching, and 2-2 isn't going to work out that well if you're fungal and you have corrosive biles raining on you. So, you know, definitely some tools are coming Impact's way, but this is rough, man. He's sitting at the same supply for so long on Roach Ravager and the same number of bases for just as long as well.
You can see he just got his 4th base, and he hasn't been able to take those gases for a while. So even though he gets the, the glands upgrade here, he can only produce 2 infestors, it looks like. So you're going to have some trouble there getting that fungal online. Nice little run by here.
Yeah, burrows a few lings there as well for prolonged harassment. A drop here from aLive into the main base of Impact. Sees that he is going for Hive. That's very valuable scouting intel. Great fungal goes down.
Huge fungal, but where's the follow-up? Here are the roaches coming in. And he hasn't been able to focus down that 1 medevac, so he will get away with a nice chunk of his units there after a decent trade.
Builds a turret and can see the lings, but of course not seeing them with his eyes. Finally he does, and will turn around and clean it up. But I like that Impact is trying to use some burrow here, trying to get something done.
There's still 1 more ling in the mineral line that he missed. Still just going to hang out for the rest of the game. Oh, Fungal's going to take this out.
Does offload a few Marines, so being as annoying as you really possibly can right now. A little bit of burrow movement coming down as well. The Hive is about to finish, but no economy to get into Ultras quite yet, so he's going to have to sit on this Roach Ravager Ling Infestor.
And here we go. The Fungals are going to have to be perfect. And here we go, just stimming in. Where are the Fungals? Where are the Infestors?
Oh,
there they are.
Oh, there they are indeed. Fantastic fungal. A lot of units starting to go down. I don't know that Impact actually has enough to hold this, though. All the units getting more and more hurt. It's just we're down to the tech units. When the roaches are all gone, everything else will evaporate in a matter of seconds, and aLive should be able to take this game.
There you go. Not even that many medevacs in this army, but he stays alive for long enough. If Impact had some more units, these roaches back here would have helped. More Fungals to go down as well could have helped out, but as you can see, this very weak bio army is going to eventually push in and kill the Hive now. So really setting Impact back into the Stone Age here.
This is very, very rough. Impact looks like he's not ready to leave the game, but he is badly crippled. His army just can't really do the fight. His economy is still like okay-ish. So, I mean, it's worth it to give this a try. If he hits some amazing Fungals with these 5 Infestors coming out, follows that up with some very good corrosive biles or something like that, maybe he can make something happen.
Yeah, it looks like that's the plan for him. He's not trying to remake any bases, just get those Infestors, as you were saying, and try to go for one big attack. But another nice drop by aLive to come in here, snipe the rest of the tech.
That's kind of gross. It's going to take him a while to get all that back. I don't believe he even has a layer at the moment, so whatever Infestors he has, that is it for the time being. Medevac's trying to avoid those set Infestors.
He's still on the run here. Oh, man. Another run by towards the sport base, and that is probably going to be it here for Impact. If you're losing your one last mining base, or one of the last 2, you're going to go down. So GG, aLive taking game number 1.
Yeah, and that is his home map. So kind of, what would be expected. You want to win on your home map or you feel pretty dumb. Now, okay, so Valdez, we have aLive with 1 home win and Impact with 1 loss. Can you tell me all the permutations of who can come out of this group?
Well, it's looking pretty good for aLive.
What about the next 29 matches? How can those 29 matches?
Also in a good spot too.
You think he's still
the favorite?
He doesn't even have a win yet.
It's okay. No, it's all right.
How is aLive not the favorite?
I've done this before.
Okay.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking.
Actually,
I don't know.
Yeah, he's gonna get out of this one.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, my pick of Impact here does lose that first game. Ruins Vendion can be a little bit of a tough map. I feel like the loss there might have come remember when the 2 Tankovacs denied mining from the 3rd and at the same time he killed the 4th?
Yeah. That was the beginning of aLive's eventual advantage. Also, that build that Impact did early on didn't really find that much damage and was pretty expensive, delayed the third base, stuff like that. So
something did actually help me, like something clicked in my head this game where it's like he needed the fourth base if he was going to stay on the Roach Ravager Infestor for a long time. If you're on 3 bases, you have to rush to Ultras a little bit quicker, take that extra risk like we saw Dark do on Lairlac Crest against Innovation. But when he lost that fourth, it was like, you're actually battling with Roach Tech against a Terran that's using everything that he wants, and that's just that's too tough when you're on the same economy.
Didn't really work out. Would you classify Impact's build in the beginning as an away cheese?
The away cheese.
The away cheese.
Here it is.
We're bringing it back. Impact. I wouldn't call that a cheese, though. That was kind of just like an away maneuver.
It was.
Right?
It was weird. It didn't feel like it was all in. I think he definitely thought he was going to get more damage. The Viking might have messed him up a bit.
I really like aLive's response to that too.
I think he might have looked at the map and said, "Okay, Ruins Vendion, this is a tough map for me to win against aLive." Obviously, he has stuff prepared. He knows how to play the map very well. Mixed it up. Didn't work out. Away cheese.
Not yet. Maybe later.
Yeah.
We got a lot of games. We got 29 more away maps, potentially, or more. So
yeah, I
we
guess
could have a lot of away
every
cheese.
map is an away map for somebody.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
5 o'clock somewhere, Valdez. Speaking of which,
High noon
guys.
somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
Just...
Guys, get out there. Let people know that this is on. SSL does not get viewers equal to the quality of its content.